So we continue. Um, but anyway, like I said, I just shot it's probably an inch group at 100 yards, at 50 yards with some H&M Barracuda hunters. Um, a lot of the things that Ted says about this gun is true, and I'm gonna touch on them. But we're also going to talk about these H&N hunters and what they do to squirrels. This is my third squirrel. So if you don't like graphicness, you need to leave, because we're going to show dead squirrel. The squirrel was taken legally while hunting today with an air rifle, and we're doing this video to show the ballistics. A lot of people shooting clay and water, and that's nice, but you really don't know what a pellet's going to do till you actually shoot it into some live game and recover the pellet, and look what the pellet does. When people talk about making false claims, to shoot in some water and shoot in some clay and say, oh, this is the best hunting pellet. I'm not picking anybody out in particular, but to say this is the best hunting pellet, and ain't never shot it in an animal and recovered it, or shot one animal and said, oh, look at the size of the hole it blew, that's not really good. That's not really good data. You got to shoot multiple animals, multiple places, multiple angles, to get a good indication of what a pellet's really going to do in live game. This is my third one. First one was about 25 yards. Second one was exactly 40 yards. I know for a fact it was 40 yards because I was shooting over the feeder. This one was probably about 35 yards. But anyway, we're getting ready to show a dead animal. It's graphic. It's dead. Got blood coming out of it. So if you don't like that sort of thing, you need to leave now. You need to go. You need to go, and that way you're not traumatized and reporting me. So leave now so you're not traumatized. Here we go. Basically, I thought this squirrel was angling towards me. I thought he was angling kind of this way. I couldn't see his head. I hit him here. I thought it was, actually, I'm wrong. I thought he was angling this way. I couldn't see his head. I thought I was going to snake it up into his vitals. But instead, he was angling towards me like this. And the pellet ended up right here. The animal ran up the tree. Actually fell on the ground. I walked over. It ran up the tree. I got ready to put a follow-up shot on it, and it basically expired and fell out of the tree. I put one more shot on it through the head just to make sure, because we don't want them to suffer. That's basically it. We're going to dig that pellet out. Like I said, these H&N hunters are very accurate out to 30 yards. It doesn't seem that they're as accurate when you start stretching them out to 50, but I'm going to shoot a couple more 50-yard groups just to make sure it's not me. But we're going to cut this pellet out. When I get done cutting this pellet out, we're going to compare it to the pellet I pulled out of the squirrel yesterday and this pellet I shot the day before. And that's basically what we're going to do today. And then we're going to talk more about this Umarex Gauntlet and these 3 videos and the truth and the non-truth about the Umarex Gauntlet. And like I said, this is one of the guns I hunt with a lot. The only other one I have is the 22. I've had the 22 the longest and done a lot of hunting with the 22. I really like my Benjamin Maximus. I'm doing a lot of hunting with this because I have a lot of different pellets coming for it. I'm waiting for Pyramid Air to send me this back order, and I'm going to shoot. I have a bunch more pellets to shoot. I have some H&N Terminators, the Shinko metal tips. I got some Polymag longs, some H&N Hunter Extremes for this gun. I think it might be one other pellet coming in for this. I'm not sure. And we're going to, like I said, I already shot the Shinko Ultra Shocks out of this gun. This gun doesn't like them. And I shot some H&N Excites. The gun doesn't like them. So, but we're going to shoot, a couple other pellets to it and see how they perform. And if they perform half decent, we'll go out and shoot some game with them, see how they perform in game. Like I said, I like this gun for sitting. It's heavy. I don't like carrying it in the woods, but I like sitting with it. It's nice for just sitting when you're sitting in a blind or sitting over a feeder or just sitting in the woods and you know that there's going to be squirrels around you and got to tote it around the woods. I really like it for that. But some of the other things Ted said about the gun are true. So I don't understand why there's this big hubbub about he's lying, because a lot of things he said is true. And we're going to touch on that in the next part of this video. So I'm going to stop it here and we're going to get this pellet out. I'm going to clean the squirrel and I'm going to come back and finish this final video. Bye-bye. So we're going to end this gauntlet video on the performance of these. And they are the HN Barracuda Hunter 10.34. They make a 10.49. 10.49. The 10.49 I got came in a 410. These are in the 210. If you order them from Pyramid Air in the 210, you get the 10.34s. My Gauntlet likes them in the 10.34, doesn't really like them in the 10.49. Imagine that. Anyway, the first pellet on the left is an unfired pellet. The second pellet is one shot in the water bucket. The third pellet is the first 25 yard shot pellet recovered. The next pellet is the straight 40 yards. I know it was a dead 40 yard shot. And this one is the last one, and you can see the big dent in it. That's where it ended up in the opposite side, top of the femur. Put a nice contusion on that back leg, and you can see where the femur or the bone wrapped around it. Wasn't enough to snap it, but it was enough to dent the pellet. It's rare for a pellet, this 40 yard pellet right here. Let me get something to point at. This 40 yard pellet right here. It's rare to shoot that far and have the pellet expand. There's not a lot of expansion, but still. She mushroomed out pretty good for a 40 yard shot. That's a lot of expansion. I've shot polymags and red fires at 30-40 yards, and they don't expand like that at these velocities. And like I said, this shoots at 7.9 or 7.4, whatever Crossman Premier Apollo points at 9.25, and it won't expand a red fire out past 25 yards, out past 25 yards. I shot 30 yards. And maybe it's something with the design of the pellet in that fur, because when it hits the fur, it tends not to expand. I don't know, but I know the same thing happens out of my 22 caliber. They won't expand at range. But it's very rare to see a pellet expand. You see this real nice expansion with the 20 yard shot. You see real nice expansion with this 20 yard shot right here. Yeah. And real nice expansion with the 35 yard shot right here. And you start to see, if you start getting too much more past the 40 yard mark, they're not going to expand. But that's just what it is. So that's it. H&N hunters and how they perform in live game. That's what you can expect.